It's just past 11:30 p.m. Today is September 15th, 2025. This video will be released on September 18th, the day that just happens to be my birthday. Now, this year I'll be doing something a bit different. I'll be spending my birthday in silence. Not just the 18th, but 10 days in total. Starting tomorrow evening, September 16th, all the way till September 27th. 10 days. 10 days of noble silence. As some of you know, on an annual basis, I attend a Vipassana, a silent meditation retreat, where for 10 days we take a vow of noble silence. No reading, no talking, no writing, no listening to music, no exercising. Participants, if they are sitting actively, may be sitting anywhere from 4 to 10 hours a day, which is what I've done the last 2 times that I've gone. I've gone to sit for a 10-day course. This year, I'll be doing what's known as serving, which means I'll be on the back end of things. Some of you are unfamiliar with the whole experience, so I'll just give you a quick rundown. These centers, Vipassana centers, Vipassana. There's about 250 or so around the world. And they offer 10-day courses. They call them courses, in which they teach you a very pure technique of meditation. While you're there for the 10 days, you're provided with a bed, you're provided with breakfast, lunch, and a snack. And you're provided with technique. All of this is provided free of charge. You can spend all 10 days and not even contribute a dime. But you being there has been paid for by donors and individuals in the past. They have received such a benefit from attending one of these courses that they have paid forward with donations of their own. So it's definitely a very unique experience to attend. Now, as I said, while you're there for the 10 days, you're provided with breakfast and lunch and a small snack if it is your first time around. All this food that is provided to you is prepared for by servers, individuals who also attend the course, old students who have completed a 10-day course previously and are now paying it forward by preparing the meals for those that may be attending for the very first time, or those that are going through the harder act of sitting to meditate for those 10 days. It is a purely selfless act to do this. So I'm a bit intrigued from other individuals that I've spoken to that have attended multiple courses. The course that they decided to serve at for these individuals was a transformative experience, more so than the transformative experience that is already available from just simply attending a 10-day course. Now, for me, I'm a yoga teacher. That has become my vocation, my job. And I find that these retreats, these 10 days that I spend, are some of the purest forms of a yoga practice that I have been able to do. To disconnect from the outside world. No longer am I an active member of society. I am stripping away all my titles, all my roles, and I am there to work, to develop a sense of equanimity, a balanced mind, to sharpen my sense of awareness, to enhance my sense of mindfulness, and to ultimately serve selflessly. Now, definitely a daunting experience. Out of all my courses that I've done before, this one for me has provoked the most sense of anxiety. Some of you know I have a cat. You've seen him in a couple of my videos. His name's Cookie. And lately, over this past summer, Cookie's been a bit sick. He's had some health troubles. So leaving him for 10 days feels daunting. I know he's in good hands. I know he'll be taken care of, but separating myself from him feels hard. And then on top of him, it's distancing myself from my family, my friends, my loved ones, all during a time that for many of us would be a time of celebration. I'm not one to parade around my birthday week, my birthday month. But it's a time of celebration. It's an excuse to connect with others that are close to you. But it feels strange. It feels strange to do this in silence this time around. I've had people tell me, I share my stories of going to these courses. And the common thing I hear is, oh, no, it's not for me. Not talking for 10 days, I could never do that. And the reality is you kind of don't. Most of us will still continue talking, even with our lips closed. All the talking just goes on up here. And an experience like this really allows you to check in, to start to notice all the thoughts that come into your mind day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute. Thoughts that you would never have given any attention to, any energy to, will somehow randomly pop up. People that you haven't thought of may come up. Some thoughts are happy, some thoughts are not so happy. But a thought is a thought. A thought only becomes alive when we start to give our energy to it. When we start to actively think about our thoughts. And that is a big part of the practice. To develop a non-reactive mind. To see your thoughts like raindrops on the surface of a pond. Thoughts will keep on coming day after day. But we have to remind ourselves that we are the water on the pond. Ripples come and go as the droplets come. But once all the thoughts fade away, the pond remains still. And that is the type of mind that we try to cultivate. I understand that what I'm saying is a bit abstract to some of us. And even me trying to communicate this experience is hard to put into words. Don't even think about the last time you may have not talked for a day, because that's already hard enough. When was the last time you just distanced yourself from your cell phone? Now, I understand that it's a bit ironic that I'm saying this while recording on my cell phone. Some of you will listen to this on your cell phones. But this thing right here is one of the major things that we are constantly tapped into. And one of the beautiful things that attending a silent meditation retreat has allowed me to do is give this thing up. Not even just giving it up for the 10 days. For those of you that are watching, let's just think about some common things that we do. How often do you bring your cell phone into the washroom? How often do you bring your cell phone to the kitchen table while you're eating a meal? How often do you get pulled away by your phone when you're supposed to be doing something else? Even if that something else is just another form of technology, you working on your laptop. How often do you just pull out your cell phone when you have nothing better to do? These things have just become normal. They've almost become second nature. And I find distancing myself from this thing has provided me with immeasurable benefit anytime I've done it. Social media distancing, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, you name it, whatever your cup of tea is. And the challenging part of this all is that the algorithms are so fast. They adapt so effectively. Some of you have been very hooked to the news over recent events, politically, societally. And the algorithm is designed to create outrage, to spark debate, to polarize opinions. And a lot of us get sucked into that. We lose our sense of humanity just for the sake of feeling right. And it's very strange. So me personally, I'm very much looking forward this time around to giving up my phone for these 10 days. Some people ask me, like, how does it feel once you leave? And I've talked about this before in one of my podcasts. I'd released a podcast after my very first Vipassana. I believe that must have been June or July of 2023. And, here are the facts. You're fasting for 15 to 20 hours a day. You're on a vegetarian diet. You're not doing a whole lot of physical activity. So, rightfully so, I lost about 7 pounds. Now, I understood that these 7 pounds that I lost were off the body. And once I go back to my daily life, resuming my normal levels of activity, resuming my diet, the weight was going to come back. But how I felt leaving that very first retreat was that I was 7 pounds lighter up here. My mind was 7 pounds lighter from the ground. And that's a very hard thing to put into words. That's the best way that I can describe it. That my mind, after, a busy life, an adult life of responsibilities, of stress, of anxieties, of life experiences, of trauma, of this, that, and the other, we end up holding on to things within the mind. Some things we notice we're holding on to, but a lot of things we have absolutely no idea. And coming out of that experience, I could pinpoint maybe a few things that I was actively holding on to. But so much of what I held on to, I don't even know. I just opened my hands figuratively and I let go. Now, just due to busy life, busy living, some of that weight probably has come back over time. But a lot of that weight I was able to keep off. Now, I have other people that say, I would love to attend an experience like this, but I'm not a meditator, I'm not a yogi, I'm not this, I'm not that. Great. The last 2 times that I've been, when it comes to speaking on behalf of all the men that I've met there, I was the only yoga teacher. I met doctors, I met lawyers, I met engineers, I met data scientists, I met bankers, retirees, students, people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. I met parents, I met grandparents, husbands. All walks of life can physically do this experience. It's daunting, no doubt. It's daunting to have to step away from your structured life, from your chaotic life, from your comfortable life. But if you can make the decision to do something like this, the benefits are there. Does everybody receive the same benefits? Probably not. Depending on how much baggage you're working with, for some individuals, it's probably a really tough time. There is a skillful way to face what you feel. And the challenge in an experience like that is that you are asked to face what you feel. Not from a place of resistance, not from a space of contempt, but with an open heart. And I think that's been one of the biggest things that I've gained from an experience like this. My heart has opened up a bit more. Even for me, that idea is a bit difficult to put into words, but I know it, I feel it. And maybe for others, it's just a deeper sense of peace, a calmer mind, a quieter mind. But I think all of these practices of spirituality, of mindfulness, of meditation, of yoga, one of their intentions was to help us take the elevator from the mind down into the heart. So many of us, due to the weight of life, have closed off the heart. We approach everything from a place of skepticism, of judgment, of over-analyzing, of spending a lot of time in here. And this thing up here, it's a great tool. But let's think of it like this. Our phones, these computers that we hold in our hands, are already so advanced. And see how easily they're able to manipulate us and take control of our lives. And this supercomputer up here is even more powerful than these handheld devices. And if we don't know how to work with this supercomputer up here, it can wreak havoc on our lives. Tangents are definitely a thing within my talks. It's probably because it's a bit late at night. Probably just because I'm also trying to get the last bits of words out of my mouth before I have to shut up for 10 days. But I don't know, riddle me this. Have you ever considered something like this? You don't have to go to the degree that I go, leaving for 10 days, renunciating yourself from the outside world. When was the last time you spent just one full day without your cell phone? That's some food for thought. When was the last weekend you were able to spend without a cellular device? That's something that is very much manageable for each and every one of us. If something is so important, if someone is very desperate to get to you, they can find a way. But when was the last time you were able to leave your house without your phone? That's something that I could encourage a lot of you to try. Now, me personally, I think meditation is one of the biggest and most powerful tools that we have access to. It is a skill that is inherent to human beings to develop. By developing a sense of concentration on the breath, there comes a very deep level of insight that we can receive. And once again, talking about this feels so abstract, especially if you don't meditate. You probably think I'm talking gibberish. But when you move through your day, most of you, most of us, move on the surface of your awareness. It's almost like your body is running on autopilot. And we do such a good job running on autopilot. We're listening to a podcast, we're on our phone, we're drinking a coffee, the body is walking, and we're somehow aware of everything around us while not paying attention to anything. But if you're able to be mindful, then maybe it's that you're able to slow down your life enough that you can develop a sense of appreciation for the world around you. And I think a lot of that just simply starts with having a bit of distance away from your phone. So how about this? I guess it's September 18th from the time that you'll be seeing this podcast, this video. If I have a few birthday wishes, birthday wishes that you can choose to indulge me on. One, I would highly encourage you to spend a meaningful amount of time away from your phone. Maybe it's just 1 hour for some of you. Maybe it's a couple of hours. Maybe it's half a day. Maybe it's almost a full day. Let me know how that feels. 2, not for trying to receive any reward, and it doesn't have to be done immediately. You don't have to go looking for something, although there's no shortage of suffering in the world, so pretty easy to find. Can you just do a good deed for someone else for just the sake of doing good? Not doing good to then be rewarded or thanked or returned in favor, but just doing something good. And third, if you're able to send my cat Cookie a bit of love, that'd be great too. Now, like I said, this was probably just a bit of a ramble for me to get some final words out of my mouth before I have to shut up. I look forward to creating more content, more videos. An experience like this, a silent meditation retreat of Vipassana, really helps me reset my energy. As a yoga teacher, I take on what feels like a heavy karmic load. I deal with all different walks of life. I interact directly and indirectly with hundreds of people a week. And some people that show up to my classes, they carry some weight. Heavy hearts, heavy minds, tense bodies. And sometimes some of that energy ends up rubbing off. Whether I'm just simply holding space for it or whether it just gets poured onto me. And a retreat like this allows me to shed some of that weight, to come back into the world a bit more refreshed, a bit more renewed. So I'm excited to see, to feel, to notice what changes from this time around. Now, if you have any questions, you can let me know. I'll try my best to get back to them when I get back from my retreat. You can always follow my Instagram. I'm going to try to have a few posts while I'm away. They will be automated, so don't worry, I'm not cheating. My phone's not going to be with me. That too is Nirvana with Nav. Otherwise, thank you for listening to another chaotic ramble of tangents of this, that. May you be happy, healthy. May you live peacefully, harmoniously. May you be liberated from your pain and suffering. Thank you all for listening. Be well, stay safe, and I'll see you once I finish my retreat.